Hey everybody, it's Tommy at Alderman Farms, and I'm back out in the bee yard. Imagine that. Today is Friday, April the 10th. I was going to wait till tomorrow, Saturday, April the 11th, to come out here and do a complete hive inspection so that it was not a work day for my full-time job. Right now it's after 5 p.m. Let's see what time it is. Well, I got my suit all buttoned up. It's 5:30. So at around 6 o'clock this evening, it will have been exactly 3 days since we installed this swarm into this hive. So number one, I'm anxious to see how much comb they've got built, to see if they, just to check on their progress. If you watched the video from yesterday, you would have seen that we took out this first frame over here and saw that they had nearly built it completely out, which was amazing to me. But I decided that I needed to do it today because yesterday afternoon I was sitting in here watching the bees. Again, imagine that. And I counted, 5 or 6 or 7 small hive beetles fly into the hive. And I saw a guard bee or two confront them, but then lost them. And anyway, they made it in there. So I did some research last night, was tickled to death to run across the University of Florida Bee Research Institute, or whatever the exact name is. It was University of Florida folks. And they were talking about managing small hive beetles through management practices and all kind of things. And one of the things they pointed out was, you need to make sure that the hive size fits your colony. And so that alarmed me because I thought, well, they may have too much undeveloped space, and not the theory is if there's too big of an area for the bees to patrol, then the small hive beetles can get a foothold. Now, I haven't looked into the hive yet prior to me pushing record into the frames yet, but I did look into the empty half that you can see here, and there were 6 or 8 small hive beetles that I've been able to kill, who were up around the side of this crack, and there's some more in there. Well, based on what I learned from the Jim Ellis, I think was his name, they may be holding these. There's some right here in this little crack that I can't get to, and they may be being held at bay there by guard bees. It's a really interesting discussion. I'll try to remember to link it in the description of this video for you to go watch it. Great information. 2 videos by Jim Ellis and his partner. Gosh, I hope I'm not getting Mr. Ellis's name wrong. One is by Jim and one is by his partner. But so I was encouraged that the hive beetles were in here, the ones that I saw so far, because they can't do any harm right here. And it may be that the bees are running them over in here, which would be great news. So you're going to find out along with me what's happening over here on this side. And so we'll kill any small hive beetles we run across in the process. Let's see what we got. I did bring my smoker, and I have applied a little bit of smoke to the entrance. Let me apply a little bit under here to the vent hole. And I may just sit this smoker right down in here for easy access. It may not be a good idea. If it's not, let me know in the comments. And here's my hive tool, and I think I'm going to start on this end right now, because I think that's where the hive beetles, or I know some are. All right, now I can already tell you that the bees have not done anything with this frame because it's so light. It's already light, and it hasn't been propolized. Oh, they are on it though, look. We do have bees on it. I'm looking up in the corner primarily because that's where the hive beetles like to hang out. Let me just hold this up here for a minute and glance down in here. Okay. What you can't see is that the bees are I think they're propolizing this divider board and probably are propolizing the hive beetles out. So, you know, I don't know what to do at the moment because there's a hive beetle right there. Got it. There's one right there. Got it. So there are bees on that frame. So I'm wondering, does that mean that they're patrolling it? Is that what's happening? There's another one right there. I missed it. Dropped it. What we're really going to learn is when I get over into some frames that have been drawn out to see if I find any sign of small hive beetles laying larvae, because shockingly small hive beetles lay their eggs and those little suckers hatch like within 24 hours. So let's look at the next frame. I haven't gotten very adept with this hive tool yet. Okay, it's very light. There's a hive beetle. So that's a couple that I've seen. Alright, I'm thinking these bees are just patrolling. They certainly don't appear to be drawing anything. It looks like the same is true on the next frame, but we're going to pull it out. Ah, these two appear to be perhaps propolized together a little bit. So they may already be on the other side. It feels a little heavier. Let's see what we got. No bees on this side. Nope. Just bees. Just a few bees on this side. No hive beetles. So that's 3 frames with no drawn comb. But again, I'm not an expert on bee behavior. I need to figure out whether finding bees on these frames mean that they're about to get started with them or what. So let's go to frame number 4. Again, bees on the frame. And these are lay-ins frames, deep frames. A few more bees on this side. I haven't seen any hive beetles. Now I'm curious about the next few frames. Let me look down in here. Nope, I see more bees on the next frame, but I don't yet see any comb. And I hope you're getting my audio. Yesterday it seemed like the microphone messed up quite a bit, where it kind of skipped out at times. It wasn't completely skipping out, but it was a little bit. I decided, you see, I've got my full suit on, except the gloves. Well, I read somewhere or heard somewhere that gloves get you stung, and I don't know. I guess it's because of the lack of feeling. So I'm going without the gloves. I may come to regret it as we get further into the hive. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's number 5. Okay, this one feels heavier. All right, they are working on this one. Oh my gosh, the next one is full of bees. I don't know how much you can tell. I'll try to zoom in at this point. They're working down to about right here. Now it's not fully drawn out, but they're working on it. They're actually, oh no, that's the little dropper I got in there. So let's turn it around, let you see the other side, let me see the other side. Same thing, so they've got comb, they are working on comb from the top to the bottom, and they have it drawn out approximately the same distance on both sides. I'm a little worried about squishing those bees. Let me pull them back out. And I think I'm going to pull out the frame next to them. And set it aside to give me more room to work and less chance of squishing some bees. I'll have to remember to put them back in the same order I took them out though. Meaning I'll have to remember to put this one back. These are propolized together a little bit. Now I'm not exactly purposely looking for the queen, but it sure wouldn't hurt my feelings to find her. This one's even heavier. So they've drawn out this one on this side, almost halfway down. Oh, I had one on my finger and it scared me. I got to get better with that because he didn't try to sting me. If she didn't try to sting me, she just got on my finger. And there was no reason for me to jump. Yep, so on both sides, they've drawn this one out approximately halfway down, but there's no capped anything yet. It looks like there may be some capped stuff on the next one. I'm going to remind myself that if I feel a bee on my finger, it's no big deal, so I don't have to drop the frame and really upset them. Get off of there. Let's apply a little smoke over the top of them, shall we? Alright, let's see what we got. Whoa, that was not propolized together at all. Now we're approaching, this one actually is, the hive entrance is exposed from the bottom of this one. And we've got bees, it looks to me like, depositing stuff into cells on this comb. I might see eggs, or it might just be nectar. It might just be nectar. That might be what that is. Yeah. I think it's just nectar. Okay, I see what looks like something becoming honey. There's a hive beetle. There's a doggone hive beetle. I see a couple of hive beetles down in... There's a couple of hive beetles down in cells. So I hope that doesn't mean we're developing a problem. I don't mind telling you, it's a weird feeling having a bee crawl on your hand. I just want to jump so bad, but so there's a hive beetle in there. There's a hive beetle in there. Don't you go back down in there. I got that one off, but I let it fall and didn't kill it. There we go. Come out of there. Got that one. I hope I remember, if I get stung, one of the things you can do with the smoker is blow smoke where the sting is, and it'll mask that attack pheromone. Alright, let me see if I can put this one back down. I did a little good there, got rid of a couple of hive beetles. Alright, let's look at the next one. I got to remember which one this was. Not stuck together too bad. Boy, it's heavy. And remember, this is day 3 of this colony being placed into this hive. And so they've got this one partially drawn, at least up to 3/4 of the way down on that side. Let's see about the other side. Same thing. Drawn out a lot at the top and partially drawn out down to 3/4 or so of the way. And I see a couple of small hive beetles on this frame. See if I can get that one out of here. Oh, oh. Dadgummit, dropped it on the ground. Gotcha. Nope, went down the crack. There's one in there. Big old drone bee. Well, I'm hoping the bees are going to be able to manage these beetles. Well, I can't get used to putting these frames back in there. I feel like I'm going to smush bees. They don't look like they're going to get out of the way, but then they kind of do. So well, this one's heavy. Or heavier, should I say. All right, I don't know, having been in there 3 days, how much, if any, stuff they should have capped, but I haven't seen anything capped yet, whether it's honey cells or brood cells. So at this point, I'm a little concerned that, you know, I don't know. Does this mean they're queenless? I got one more frame to go to see if they've got anything capped. And I'm finding a number of small hive beetles, but, you know, it so far it's not an obscene number. And if there's, I only seem to remember that I only need to be concerned if they're laying in capped brood. I want to set it down, but the doggone bees won't get out from under the corner of it. All right, all you bee brains out there, tell me, after 3 days in a new hive, should I be seeing capped brood? Capped anything? Because I haven't yet, and I've only got one more frame to look at. I just use pine needles and such. I probably need to do better than that. I know I see a lot of guys on YouTube using burlap. I need to get me some burlap. All right, so let's go to the very first frame, and we kind of glanced at it yesterday, but I was too nervous to really take it all the way out and look at it. So I'm less nervous today because I'm protected except for my hands. And I mainly just have to remember not to panic if I get a bee on my hand, or even if I get a sting. I don't need to panic, because that'll result in really bad things happening, like dropping the frame. Oh, it's so heavy. Now it's covered with bees. I envy the YouTube guys like 628 Dirt Rooster Bees and Dr. Leo, who's not a YouTube guy, but you know, all you folks out there that can just spot a queen from a mile off. I know what they look like with the longer abdomen, but they just don't jump. They just don't jump out at me. I'm glad they don't jump out at me because I'd probably freak out. Ah, brunch. No capped, nothing that I can see. Lots of bees. I do see some liquid up there. Let me turn it around. There's a hive beetle. There's a hive beetle. There's a bee on my hand. Hadn't stung me yet. The drones do stick out like a sore thumb. I can see those. Alright, we're back with some more fuel in the smoker. All the pine stuff I had in there, I thought I had it slap full, but it burned all up. So I had some hay in the back of the Polaris. So I'm hoping that what this lightly smoking these bees is going to drive them down so I can move these frames back close together. It does appear to be working. It's driving them down, looks like. Good. There's a hive beetle. Got it. There's another one. Got it. I feel awkward because I don't know what to be holding in what hand and trying not to be nervous, and it's really it has some taking, shoot, it takes some getting used to, I suppose. Let's see, this one had nothing on it. So you know what? I'm gonna leave it over here. There's a hive beetle. Got it. That one's partially drawn. That one's partially drawn. That one's not. Is that one partially drawn? No, it's not. That one is. That one's not. So, in an effort to help the bees manage the small hive beetles better, I'm going to take these frames out. and I'm going to move the divider board over. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh my gosh. I had 10 frames. So I'm taking 4 out. So I'm going to let them go with 6 until I need to expand them. There's a bee chasing a small hive beetle. Don't worry, buddy, I got it. Didn't mean to do that. I think my divider board doesn't fit exactly like it should. Okay, fellow newbies, what have we learned today? Well, we learned how to kill a bunch of small hive beetles. We learned that I made a huge mistake by having too many frames in the hive for a colony to get started with. I had 10, 4 of which they hadn't touched. 6, so they've only drawn out comb on it, either mostly or partially on 6 of them. So I reduced it down to the 6. We also learned that my homemade divider board fit perfectly where I had it in its original spot, but it's not quite wide enough to stay in place where I moved it to. So I'm worried about that, and I'm going to have to figure out a solution, either cut a little bit bigger one or figure out a way to have it in place. I've just got it sort of wedged in. I've got some little pine sticks that are wedged in right there right now. And we learned that after 3 days in the hive, almost exactly 3 days to the hour, there's nothing capped. There's no cap. I didn't see the queen, but that doesn't mean she's there. So I need you bee experts. I'm probably going to text Randy when I get through with this video, see what he tells me. But I need you bee experts to let me know after 3 days, should I be seeing capped brood? I don't know. So you don't know what you don't know. It's a learning experience. So I'll find out whether or not I have cause for concern, or whether or not I need to give it a few days to let them get caught up and acclimated. I do know pollen has been pouring in, but I didn't see anything capped anywhere. Now, granted, there were tons of bees on the frames, and I didn't brush them away or anything. I didn't want to disturb them. I wanted to disturb them as least as possible. So I'll find out from, let me know in the comments when I need to check again, or if I need to do anything differently. Or, what other mistakes are you seeing, or do you suspect that I'm making? And I should have been counting the small hive beetles, but I didn't. So anyway, hey, give us a thumbs up if you liked the video, enjoyed the video, if you learned anything along with me, or give me a thumbs down if I'm just totally don't have a clue what I'm doing, which I don't. I'm learning as I go, I suppose. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to follow along with the newbie beekeeper at AldermanFarms Apiary and Bee Sanctuary. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.